Well, like I mentioned in the last video, finishing up the feed wagon is probably top priority right now. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna run back to the shop and I'm gonna see if I can get the rear gate done for that thing. And after that, it's just a matter of putting a floor in it. But daily chores still need to happen. I wanted to show you guys how the new round bale feeder works here in the big corral. As you can see, it's empty right now. So we're gonna try that thing out, get all these cows taken care of here, and then we'll go back to the shop and get to work. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. If you're new to the channel, I'll get you caught up. So for years, we fed small square bales at this ranch. In fact, in this area of Northern California, that is pretty standard. You really don't see round bales around here at all. But I decided to make the switch to round bales for several different reasons, and so far I've been really happy with it. But a couple of the challenges that I faced, first of all, was the way my feeding setup was in this barn. This used to be a bunkline feeder all the way back to the end of the barn. In fact, you can still see remnants of it here. And actually, this little section of bunk feeder that's left, I'm gonna convert into a mineral feeder, but we're not doing that today. So upon making the switch to round bales, I had to figure out a different way to feed the cattle here at the barn, and this is what I came up with. This is 8 feet wide and I think like 12 or 14 feet long. I wanted to make it wide enough that I could comfortably drive the tractor in here and set a bale down, or several bales down. The goal here was to not have to drive the tractor out in the corral, because I know that at certain times of the year it's just going to be too muddy out there to do that. This way I never leave the barnyard, and where I'm setting the hay down is on concrete. So the bad thing about this design, or the problem I haven't been able to solve, is taking the net off. You still kind of get mauled by these cows because they can reach in here, but oh well. All right, that's the first bale. You can see that bale alone can almost handle all of these cattle, but we're gonna stick a second one in here to make sure everybody gets a bite. Now, the last thing, I've got my little bull calf in the big corral here with the cows and his mom. And this is not an ideal home for him, and I'm gonna move him soon. But for now, when I feed, I've got these old straw bales. Well, when they baled these, they had just come out of an alfalfa field, so they've got a few flakes of alfalfa in them too. So I've been trying to throw a flake over the fence to him where he can get it. He's getting a little bit, and at this age, most of his diet is mom's milk anyway. This is the perfect time to feed him because the cattle are distracted and they're not gonna just take it from him. What I'll probably end up doing is just putting him and his mom in with the weaned calves, and she'll just be able to eat to her heart's content, and he will be able to reach in that feeder. But then there again, it's like he kind of got the same issues with him maybe getting bullied out of the feeder. So. All right, everybody here looks happy. Let's run back up to the shop and get going on that feed wagon. It's been about 20-30 minutes since the last clip that you guys saw, and my, how the weather has changed. So in a tin shop, it's gonna get really loud in here, and rather than try to talk over that, I'm just gonna start working and film it, and you guys can watch it unfold. I'm gonna do a test fit before we go any further. Golly. Hey, quit it. Let's get this thing off the ground so I'm not working on my knees anymore. Much better. Good. Hey, Kelly. Boy, this thing got heavy. All right, it's a new day now, so I thought I'd kind of reset or, get everybody up to speed where we're at. So the pipe work is basically done on the gate here. I got this fully welded out. I didn't film any of that because Well, if you've seen me tack, you've seen me weld, you don't probably need to see all that. This is essentially done, except for one thing. I gotta add some sheet to the bottom to make a skirt, basically, to keep the hay in the feeder when there's hay in there. So after that's done, we can go ahead and figure out a hinge system to put on this feeder, which shouldn't be too hard to do. We've got plenty of stuff to weld to. The only bad thing about all of this is that it's pretty windy today, and I don't like welding in the wind. We'll just have to cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, let's get to work. All right, it's a moment of truth. Well, I'm pretty happy with this. I think it turned out good. It was sort of a last minute design decision to use the braces here as like bunk slats, but I think that worked out good, and it ended up saving me a lot of material. I feel like it's self-explanatory, but I'll go ahead and explain it anyway. I would open the rear gate that I just made, and then I'll have access to the feed wagon. It'll be easy to set round bales back here with my loader, or I think this is low enough that I could even do it with the 3-point spear. Once the hay's in there and I close the rear gate, I've got 1, 2, 3, 6 slots here on the back that cattle can reach their heads in and eat. So we're closing in on the finish line on this project. All that's left obviously is the floor. That's probably the biggest thing. But then up in the front here, where do I have good light? Up in the front here, we've got a big hole, and originally I had planned on putting boards across that, but the more I think about it, the more I think I'm just gonna do some sheet metal there, and then I won't have to worry about ever replacing that or anything, and then that'll be done. Oh, and one more thing. I gotta figure out some sort of a latch for this. This is just sitting here now, and it's gonna need a latch. And while we're standing right here, What kills me about this whole thing is I've got a gap down here at the bottom and it's touching up here at the top. So I don't know if the gate that I made is a little bit tweaked or if this panel is a little bit tweaked, but it doesn't fit up perfect. Somehow I'll live with it. But for today, this is as far as we're gonna get. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.